What's going on, guys? Assalamu alaikum, back at it with another video. I hope all of you are doing great. Guys, today we are going to be checking out a Citizen watch, and this one is part of the Promaster lineup. It is called Citizen Promaster Aqualand. I'll later tell you the reference number for it as well, but for now we're gonna get into it. We are gonna discuss the watch. This is a very interesting watch. It is a proper diver's watch. Now, I'm not much of a diver myself. I'm more like a desk diver, but still the watch is more of a collector's item for me. That being said, the watch does serve very good utility as being a diver's watch. We're gonna discuss that later in the video when I discuss the watch up front and close with you guys. Now, before we get into the video, just a quick note that this particular watch has the Pepsi Bezel on it. Now, a whole lot of watches out there have the Pepsi Bezel or Pepsi dials on them, which basically is a bezel or a dial in the color tones of red and blue. Now, initially, I think the very first watch that basically did the Pepsi Bezel was the Rolex GMT Master 2. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments. But in that particular scenario, that was a GMT watch, and the red and blue tones do actually serve their practicality. They serve as the day and night cycle on a 24-hour scale of the bezel in a GMT watch. However, later a whole lot of watches sort of started adopting the Pepsi Bezel or the Pepsi dial without actually applying the practical implications of it. Now it's more of an aesthetic deal. That being said, let's get right into the review and check out the Citizen Promaster Aqualand. So the watch box that we basically get for Citizen in Pakistan is a very simple, very basic box. We do not get the barrels and everything like generally the Promaster lineup comes in, but this is like your normal box with all the manuals and everything, the cushioning and Citizen branding inside and outside, and that's about it. And here is the watch. This is the Promaster Aqualand BN2038-01L reference number. This is one big, one chunky boy. First off, let's discuss the dimensions. So this thing weighs about 138 to 140 grams. The lug width is basically 21.5 mm. The case size is 46 mm. And the case thickness is 16 mm. As you can see, this is a very chunky, very bulky watch because of the fact that the caliber inside, and there's a whole lot of features packed in this watch as well. The lugs are quite prominent. They're big, chunky stainless steel lugs. However, the lug action is very straight. It's almost 90 degrees, which is why the watch sits very flushed on your wrist. Yes, it does sit a little bit higher, but that is because of the thickness, the general thickness of the case and the watch itself. The straps from the lugs are not stiff at all. Like I said, they have a very vertical, very 90-degree action. The watch itself, the case, the bezel and everything is made out of stainless steel. And this is a Pepsi bezel that I was talking about. Like you see, the top of that part is red and the bottom one is blue. The crystal on this watch is a shatterproof and impact resistant mineral crystal. On the back, you have your regular Citizen Eco Drive branding going on. This is an Eco Drive watch, which means it utilizes natural and artificial light, all sources, to basically charge itself. Now, a whole lot of people do have the misconception that Eco Drive watches do not have batteries, but that is not the case. They do have batteries. It's just the fact that the batteries last a very long time because of the fact that they're continuously being recharged with your light sources. The caliber in this watch is Citizen Miyota J250. Again, it is an Eco Drive movement, and as you can see on the 9 o'clock side, you have a gauge that basically shows ready and empty, and that shows how much battery power your watch basically has left. The lume on this watch is absolutely phenomenal. It is a dive watch. It is a given that the lume has to be good, but again, it leaves no space for doubts. The bezel on this watch is a unidirectional rotating 60 clicks bezel. There is one thing that is actually something I do not like on the bezel. Again, I'm no one to sort of point this out because of the fact that I won't be utilizing this watch underwater, but just out there to make a point. As you can see, the knurling or the grooves on the bezel are very sharp. They do look sharp, and they're very edgy, so one would get the impression that, you know, the grip on this thing is very good, but the grip is actually quite slippery. Even in your normal scenarios with my dry hands and everything, this thing seems to slip out of my fingers. And I can only imagine if you're taking this underwater and sort of stops rotating, or you know, you cannot get a proper grip on this thing, it is just going to be annoying. So would have been better if the grooves in there were a little bit more sharper, and the grip could have been just, you know, generally improved. Now, there are some things that are absolutely phenomenal about this watch. In such a budget watch, in such a budget bracket, you're getting these action-packed features, and if these features were given in a luxury watch, the prices would just straight up go through the roof. Number one, you have screw-down pushers, something very unique to dive watches. So these pushers cannot be pressed until they have been unscrewed, and as you can see, I'm unscrewing them. This one currently indicates the maximum depth, so as you can see, if I'll press it, and there we go, it shows me my last maximum depth, or the maximum depth this watch has gone down to. Right now it's on the factory settings, settings that are basically there from the factory, and I haven't taken this underwater, neither would I ever. But to sort of demonstrate, I'll screw it back in. And as with your screw down crowns, these things work in the similar fashion. So if I was to press it right now, it would not press because of the fact that it is screwed down. And that is done to make the watch more water resistant. Speaking about water resistance, this watch is 200 meters water resistant. And as you can see, the top pusher is also a screwed pusher. You have to unscrew it and screw it back in. Over here at 4 o'clock, you have your main crown with the Promaster logo on it. This is also a two-step screw down crown. First step basically quick sets your date. At 3 o'clock, you have your date. And the second step basically sets your hour and minute hands. Inside you have your second sweeping hand, you have your hour and minute markers, as well as two other arrows. Now these two arrows are basically indicating, again, like I showed, one of them is showing your maximum depth, or the depth this watch has gone down to maximum, and the other one shows your current depth. So if I was to take this watch into water right now, once water hits this particular sensor, which is called the water sensor, the watch goes into water mode, or it is activated as a diver's watch, and a depth hand basically indicates your current depth with this watch. Similarly, this sensor right here is your depth sensor, and that sensor basically tells the watch whatever depth you're in. Inside you have your circular indices, and like I said, the lume on these is very, very great. At 3 o'clock you have your date. At 12, 6 and 9 you have your rectangular indices. On the outer dial, you basically have your depth markings to help you tell at what current depth you are at. Talking about the strap, this is a polyurethane strap, which is some kind of a plastic. Over here you have your Promaster written. The strap keepers are of the same material. The buckle is a single pin buckle with Citizen branding going on. Now this particular watch also features a rapid ascent alarm that goes off for 10 seconds, indicating that you're ascending in water. So that's pretty much it for this particular Promaster Aqualand. I'm gonna wear this watch and show you guys how it basically looks on my wrist. And there you have it. I have a very thin wrist. However, the watch actually does look pretty good on it. Like I said at the start, the lug action is very straight. It doesn't create unnecessary stiffness on the strap. And the watch itself, like I said, sits pretty high because of the fact that it is actually 16 mm thick. However, it does not look bad. It is right there up my style, the kind of watches I like, big, bulky, thick boys. That sounded wrong. I will tell you guys one thing, that this particular strap, the polyurethane strap, because this is my first watch with this kind of strap, it is extremely annoying to buckle this and to unbuckle this. And even more annoying is the fact that you have to actually put it in your keeper. As you can see that I've left one keeper out there, and I haven't actually put my strap in that one. I've only used one keeper, and the reason for that is because it is very sticky. It gets jammed in both of these keepers, and it is actually very difficult and annoying to sort of pull this out as well as put it back in. Anyway, that's about it. That is how the watch looks on my wrist. So guys, that was the Citizen Promaster Aqualand. My personal 2 cents on the entire thing is the fact that Citizen as a brand is severely underrated. Their watches are very good, very precise, high quality watches, and they fall in the affordable or budget bracket, and a whole lot of people are actually turned away by this. And whenever Japanese watches are brought into discussion, they immediately start thinking about Seiko or Grand Seiko. Like I said, Citizen is underrated. They have their fanboys. I'm personally a fanboy of Citizen because of the fact that their Promaster lineup sort of appeals to me a lot. The way it looks, the way these watches function, their features and everything. It's value for money, straight up, simple as that. In case if anybody is looking for a good dive watch, this is something that definitely need to check out. And not just, you know, being a test diver like me, if you're actually into diving. Like I said, this thing is made for divers. It has practical implications of that as well. So very good watch. Do check it out. You can go to International Watch Company and check out their website. Right now, I think at the time of making or posting this video, this model currently is unavailable, but you can talk to them. They're very good and cooperative people. I'm pretty sure they'll arrange it for you. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Allah Hafiz.